All right, I think we're good. Welcome back to Abu Dhabi, Rory. The start of this season, you had a win in the UAE, and now you're sort of have a chance to have another couple of victories, a couple of chances at wins again in this area. What do you enjoy about this part of the world?
I enjoy all of it. I first came to the UAE as a 16-year-old amateur and played in the Desert Classic, and since that year, I think I've come back every year since. So I've been coming to this region for nearly 20 years, and got a lot of friends here. I obviously lived in the UAE for 4 years as well, and it just is a very familiar and comfortable place for me. And then I think when you have those good feelings, it's probably a little easier to play good golf. And I've had success here, and I think that's made me want to come back each and every year. They're some of the strongest events that we have on the DP World Tour, and I want to come back and not only support them, but come back and win them, because I know that every time I come here, I've got, and tee it up, I've a good chance to win because I'm so familiar and comfortable with the golf courses as well. So maybe apart from this one, but yeah, good to be back, and obviously excited about the next 2 weeks, and what that could mean, and going to try to win a sixth race to Dubai and equal Seve. So pretty cool things on the horizon.
With that sort of in mind, obviously the season-long race is coming to an end. You would hit such a milestone by equaling Seve, chasing Monty down. Is it difficult to sort of put that to the back of your mind and just focus on the next 2 weeks?
A little bit, but if I go out and win this week, it obviously it makes it a bit boring next week. But I won't find it boring. It'll be lovely. But yeah, all I can focus on is the task at hand and trying to play as well as I can this week. And if I can do that, I'll give myself an even better chance. So yeah, try to stay focused this week and play as well as I can, and give myself another chance to win. It's I've had a lot of good chances this year. I've converted a couple, but I've let a few slip away. So and try to give myself another 2 chances to win golf tournaments that are important to me.
Sounds good. Okay, we'll go to the floor. Who would like to go first? Joy? Basma, if you want to get down to Joy.
Rory, I know one golf course where you have always played well, but not won, and another was Abu Dhabi Golf Club as well. I mean, you have always had great results over there. Now that it has shifted over here, and I remember you playing really well at the Al Nabuda's Invitational over here with your father. Do you think that changes something in your head when you come into the same tournament at a different venue?
Yeah, a little bit. I think the last time I played here was the start of 2022, and it was very windy that week. Doesn't look like it's going to be as windy this week. It's a very different conditions. I think the scoring will be quite a bit lower this week than it was then. So a bit of a different test. But yeah, I mean, I'd like to think that no matter where a golf tournament is being played and what golf course it's on, that if I play to my capability, I'll have a chance to win. So and yeah, I've only played one tournament here at Yas Links compared to maybe some of the other guys that have played a couple more, but I feel like I've got a pretty good handle on the golf course and what the strategy should be and how I should play it.
And if I can ask you a bit of a local question, Com passed away, and Com and Gerald Lawless were such great supporters of yours.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know about your relationship with Com, him supporting your foundation and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, Colm and obviously Gerald have been huge supporters of mine. Jumeirah, when Gerald was the CEO, was my first sponsor. And I've known Colin and his family for a long time from coming over here, and I think it's what they've done in this region and in Dubai in particular, especially with Dubai duty free and the support that they give sports back home in Ireland. So they sponsor a lot of the horse racing, and obviously they sponsored the Irish Open when I hosted it for a few years, and their support was amazing. It bumped the prize fund up of the Irish Open. It enticed a few more players to come and play the event that wouldn't necessarily play the event. So Colin was a great supporter of sport and golf in Ireland, and obviously built a incredibly successful business here in the region, and he'll be dearly missed. He was a great man.
Thank you.
Rory, obviously you've tied Seve, and to pass him would be great. Well, what keeps you so interested in the race to Dubai? What is it? Is it that the legacy of that whole thing of getting to beat Monty, or?
I don't, not necessarily that. Even though that would be nice. I pride myself. I'm a European player. I would like to go down as the most successful European of all time. Obviously, race to Dubai wins would count to that, but also major championships, and hopefully I've got a few more Ryder Cups ahead of me as well. So that's something that I would like to. I think that's a goal that is quite attainable over the next 10 years, and I'm very proud to be from Europe and have sort of played on this tour and played on this tour consistently, and it's something that I'm very proud of, and I just think of the greats of European golf that I grew up watching, whether it was Faldo or Woozy or Langer or the sort of the really the heyday of the European tour in the 90s, I guess. And yeah, that's that was I remember when I got not even my European tour card. I remember when I got my first money clip just as I signed up to be a member, and it was a really proud moment for me. So it's something that I've always been proud of, and something I want to continue to do.
Do you think obviously we don't know what's going to happen, but do you think we could get back to those glory days, heydays, if sort of European Tour does get this, this patch at the end of the year?
Yeah, I think it hopefully will get more than just a patch at the end of the year. I think there has to be some tournaments dispersed throughout the year for the tour to stay relevant, not just in a 4-month window, but a little bit more than that. So look, we'll see what happens. I think I've articulated that I think the European Tour is in a good spot because it might have a couple of different options going forward.
Good to Nick over in the left.
Rory, welcome back to the UAE. Good to see you here.
Thank you.
Your last event was the Alfred Dunhill Links in Scotland.
Yeah.
That's quite a time. Are you energized, rusty, fresh? How do you feel?
I'm probably all of the above a little bit. I had 4 weeks off, but I was keeping pretty busy in those 4 weeks. But 4 weeks off from tournament golf. I feel good. I've done some work on my swing that I felt like I needed to do. Still probably a ways to go, but it'll be nice to test it out in competition and see how it holds up. But yeah, it's been a long year. I think this is my 26th event of the season. Next week will be 27. So it was nice to have this little break coming into these events to, I guess, reinvigorate myself a little bit. And it's nice to come here with motivation of trying to achieve something, and I'll put all my efforts into the next 2 weeks, and then I can have a nice little break over the holiday period.
Right, we'll go to Rue in the centre.
How does a prolonged break differ your practice and time to implement some of those changes?
Yeah, so I sort of committed after the Dunhill that I wasn't going to watch my ball flight for 3 weeks. So locked myself indoors just in like a swing studio for 3 weeks and just hit balls into a blank screen or a net. And just focused on my swing, focused on the movement of my swing, focused on some of my body patterns, I guess, and just had a live feed on a TV in front of me of where the club was, and sort of just trying to get the reps in of making the motion that I want to make. And then over the past 10 days now, so from last Monday, started to see the ball flight and get a bit more comfortable with what the ball was doing in the air, but still trying to focus on the move that I want to make. So, but I think those 3 weeks in the sim have been important. I haven't had time to sort of do that over the past 18 months. So I thought it was important to get in there and do that. And for me, that's the only way that I'm going to make a swing change, because if I just hit balls in the range, I'm just going to react to whatever ball flight I've just seen. So to not see the ball flight for a while, I think has been really important to try to implement some of those little changes. And it's definitely something that I'll continue to do after these 2 weeks into December and going into the new year as well.
Okay, a couple more at the front here. Oh, okay, Connor, go ahead.
Hi, Rory. Obviously, the last time you were here at Yas Links, the weather was adverse, to say the least. How different will the golf course play this week compared to then? And then also just in terms of the condition of the golf course, how does Yas Links compared to the other venues you visit across the year?
Yeah, the condition of the golf course is absolutely incredible. Doesn't feel like there's a blade of grass out of place. Yeah, the fairways are so tight, like they're so tight. Even for me, I'm like worried about duffing a wedge shot. But fairways are incredible, tees, greens. The condition of the golf course is amazing. And the conditions are different. It's much hotter, not as much wind. As I said at the start, I think if the weather continues to be like this, the scoring is going to be quite a bit lower than it has been here. Par fives are reachable. Greens are still really receptive because of the humidity. So, the wind might get up a little bit, but I expect quite a few low scores this week.
Right, Jamie?
Rory, I'm not sure if you've seen, but there's been a few reports of done deals and negotiations being successful and reaching the conclusion. Can you shed any light on that?
Yeah, it's the first that I've heard of it. I know Jay was in Saudi Arabia last week at the FII and was having some meetings, but no, I think I would have heard if there was. So I know I know he's briefing the transaction committee tonight. So maybe some news comes out of that, but as far as I'm aware, I haven't heard a thing.
Would you be surprised if it was that? Because there seems so many loose ends.
Yeah, I would, but then obviously given today's news with what's happened in America, I think that clears the way a little bit. So we'll see.
There's probably bigger things at play with that result, more important things. But if the DOJ was suddenly more amenable, that would be a big moment, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be. It would be a huge moment.
Rory, can I just ask you a couple of questions on what you said about not looking at your ball flight and just, where was this studio, and when you ended it and when you started looking at your ball flight, did you see any difference or did you feel happy about it? What did you find out?
Yeah. So the studio was at home in Florida, the Bears Club. And then I was up in New York for a few days and found a swing studio there in the city to practice at for a little bit. So I think it's not necessarily that I couldn't make the way I was swinging work. It was just that it relied a little bit more on timing and matchups of my transition and a bunch of different technical things. And I just wanted to clean it up a little bit, just clean up the motion to make it a little more efficient. And I now, when I'm in the studio and I make my rehearsals and what I want to do, I like the way it looks. It looks a little bit more the way I want to swing, and the positions that I want to hit. And then I would say, in terms of when I started to hit balls again outside and look at my ball flight, I think it just brought my start lines in a little bit, which was a good thing. Sometimes when my swing goes off, I can hit draws and fades, but I'm having to aim further right and left for those draws and fades to make sure that I do it. So instead of being able to hit a 3-yard draw, it's more like a 8 or a 10-yard draw, and the same the other way with the fade. It just gets into these extremes a little bit instead of, if you can tighten up your start lines, it means that your aiming points are much tighter, and then your dispersion just isn't quite as wide. So I've noticed a little bit of a difference with start lines, but it's a work in progress. It's for me something just to make my golf swing more efficient, and then if it is more efficient, it means that it's not going to break down as much under pressure. So if I look at my year, the one thing that I would criticize myself on is the fact that I've had these chances to win, but then when I've had these chances to win, okay, some have maybe been because of the putter, but others have been because of, my ball striking letting me down at a crucial point. So I think just trying to clean all that up so that whenever I do get under that pressure, I can have 100% trust in my swing and know what's going to happen.
And what started this, Rory? Because it's you don't see a professional actually not trying to see his ball flight for such a long time.
Yeah, you would be surprised. I think swing work in a studio without seeing your ball flight is very helpful, especially when you're just focused on your swing. I think a lot of guys do it, and for me, it's just I just haven't had the time to focus on it. It's been a busy 18 months, and I've played a lot of golf, but I just tried to commit to that month of October that I was gonna knuckle down and try to change a couple of things. And it's probably still not, when I'm out there playing on the course, it's probably still not quite where I want it to be compared to where it is inside. But you have to find that balance between, making the motion that you want, but also trying to hit the golf shot that you want as well. So that's why these 2 weeks will be a good indication to see where I'm at.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Rory. Good luck this week.
To watch another DP World Tour video, click here. And to subscribe, click here.